Welcome back to CCRPG. We are returning to our pilots as they navigate the Black Site 70.106 down on the planet. It appears that they have gotten past the initial security of this place without setting off too many warnings, other than a ongoing warning state that the base seems to be in. They don't have to worry about reinforcements just yet, but they did determine that there is a check-in system, and when the base defenses here don't check in, and I'd say, oh, seems like the next 30 to 20 minutes from now, things will get a little bit more pressed for time. In their investigations, we saw Dyne and Steve head off to a nearby residential building where they found a curious thing. A giant gate at the beginning and locked off apartment building. Giant complex of people. Investigating one of these rooms, Steve stumbled upon an old associate that he had met in prison up on E2705's E2705. I had that right. On the station's prison. Zippo Ed, and he isn't doing great. He has been implanted with a segmentation tether that appears to be modifying his ability to think and is allowing him to breathe in this toxic atmosphere. Although not without repercussion, it does appear that enough of the atmosphere is wearing at him that is causing long-term damage, albeit slowly. They called upon their friend Astro to come take a look at the cybernetics as Dyne examined the medical part of the process, and it appears that the segmentation tether does in fact segment the patient's mind, making it so that Zippo Edge does not have any idea what he has been doing in the factories here, what he has been working on, or even where he's been going on a day-to-day basis. Only that he is trapped here. And he was hoping the pilots would be here to help. Hoping to see what's going on here, they are taking Zippo Edge out of the building with an attempt to see if they can pinpoint exactly what's taking place. Evelene did spend her time back at the mechs, originally fixing up her mech, but then also assisting with COMET's mech after he went off to assist. And, she'll be done here soon in making sure everyone is repaired and battle ready should the worst happen. Let's jump right back in with our pilots who are doing the exploration. The three of you had just finished talking amongst each other about Zippo's condition and what's going on with him. What do you do from here?
Yeah, where we left off was kind of like, we think we should probably take him outside that little gate to have him switch to the other segment of his mind, the one that goes to work, and maybe we can get some information about what he's actually doing.
As we're heading downstairs, can I just say to Astro quietly as an aside, hey Astro, if this doesn't get us anything, do you think you can disable that implant, causing him to be able to re-merge his personalities?
So, from what I saw, Astro's guessing that disabling anything in the implant would probably kill him, right? Because it's responsible for keeping his brain working and keeping his lungs working.
You do note that it is implanted in his brain to modify his memories, but yes, it appears that the bit of it that is basically keeping his lungs functioning and siphoning the hazardous materials out of them would cease to function if the other part of it was disconnected or broken in some way.
I assume you explained that to me then.
Right? Yeah, he says that.
Yeah, I'll just respond with, I'm aware, but he'll if it does work and he's able to tell us anything, I think it's worth it.
I can try. But
He should have some time, even after his lungs stop working, to be able to tell us what's going on.
well, he might be able to tell us what's going on once we take him through the gate too.
I understand, but if that doesn't work, I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, because I feel like I might end up killing him, and I really don't want to do that. But I'll try. I'll try my best.
Honestly, Astro, I think he died when he was brought to this planet.
Yeah, I was going to use the words fate worse than death to describe his condition, so could be a mercy.
Well, shall we guide him downstairs then?
Oh, I assumed we were walking downstairs at that point,
okay.
and I was talking to Astro as an aside kind of thing.
All right. Well, you head down, heading towards where you know the exit gate from the building is. As you go down, he looks around, seeing all the red flashing lights everywhere. He's like, we haven't been in lockdown like this in weeks.
Do you remember the last time you were in lockdown? Why it was declared?
He thinks hard about it. He's like, last time some people came by and told us to stay in our rooms, and he thinks hard but is having trouble. He's like, I think we got some new workers, new people moved in the day after.
Interesting. Do you know how many people are still here? Live here?
We're not really allowed to associate with one another. I mean, we can basically move around the apartment building, but usually they tell us that if we're not in our rooms at any time other than meals, that, demerits.
That's why we don't see too many people about.
And especially when this is going on, they've threatened that if you're found outside your room when the lights are going, they might just have to terminate you.
Well, between us and you don't have to worry about that right now.
He looks around and he goes, I don't feel comfortable going around out here without a weapon. You guys got something for me? A sidearm or something?
We'll give you a weapon once you go through this gate.
All right. Okay, good. And
then I'll just mutter to Steve, be ready in case he becomes hostile.
Oh, I am.
All right. You head down towards the lobby. He looks at the gate as you kind of approach, and he goes, all right, time to go to work. He shakes his head and approaches. Do you guys do anything?
I'll just my gun just ready in case he does something, but
yeah. I'll just stand back and watch.
You guys stay back on this side of the gate for him as you
actually I'll go through first.
Okay.
I want to be on the other side.
I'll say, through.
Oh, hold on one moment, and then I'll just walk through the gate.
You walk through the gate, and you hear beep noise as you go through, and you see a few of the lights and whirring of the gate takes place as you step through.
Okay.
All right, and then Dyne and Steve, you're staying on this side?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, so I'll just stay here.
All right. As you watch, Zippo approaches, and he kind of settles into a constant stride. You watch as he moves through the gate, takes 3 or 4 steps to the other side. You hear as he passes through, boop. You hear some whirring in the gate, and you see a similar sort of lighting take place along the bits that you see exposed on his spinal column up and down his cybernetics. His posture changes slightly. It's only noticeable because you've spent a little bit of time seeing how he's been acting here, especially because he was very nervous as he walked through the gate. As he steps to the other side, he almost straightens a little bit, like changes his gait a little bit. It doesn't seem like he's sneaking anymore. Seems like he's just, headed somewhere that he's supposed to be headed. Takes a few steps, looks around, and then turns around as if he's going to come back through the gate.
I'll say, hold on there, Zippo. Do you remember us?
He turns around and looks at you. He's like, "Hey, you one of the guards?"
You could say I took over their rotation. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'll get back right away. And he moves towards walking to the gate again.
So did he actually?
He passed through to your side of the gate, Astro, and he took a few confident strides like he knew where he was going.
Yeah.
Looked around, turned on his heel, and started walking back towards the gate again.
And now he's still walking.
Yeah, he like stopped to talk to you, and then he starts walking back towards where Steve and Dyne are. Do you stop him before he goes back through the gate?
I'll stop him.
Okay.
I'll stop him, and then I'll point to Steve and say, I believe you're old acquaintances, yeah?
He like shakes his head. He's like, listen, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm real sorry that I'm out of place. I thought I'd be back quicker. I don't know what happened.
No, you're exactly where we want you to be.
Am I in trouble?
Not if you can answer our questions.
You're saying this from the other side of the gate, Steve? Okay. Okay. What's going on?
Listen, we had some data corruption, and we need to know what you did last at your job. We need to fill in the forms.
Forms?
Don't worry about it. It's on our end. Just answer the questions.
Make a pilot check.
I don't think I have anything unless read a situation, stay cool, word on the street.
Could I step in here and say, listen, it's no big deal. We know you work hard. We're just trying to get our numbers straight so you get the credit you deserve. And I'm going to try to be charming.
Yeah, let's see how you say this. Roll me that check.
Okay.
Should I roll mine as well?
We're just going to have Astro take this one.
All right. Let me roll charm.
Hey.
I rolled a 19. Just below 20.
Astro, you notice him like look nervously around, looking very specifically at the rotating red lights, and then like looks back at you and he goes, okay, but okay, I'll tell you what I know. If you take me back, I can plug back in.
Take you back to
the site, my work site. Yeah. But he like looks around nervously again, looking at the red lights. He's like,
Look, I told you we don't know which site you went to.
He like starts looking really confused. He's like, I mean, he like looks down, looks up, like he is confused. He's like, I think you had me at Factory 2. That's where I remember going, but then I came back here and now I'm back outside.
Yeah, we brought you out here so we could talk to you.
Okay, well, are you sure I don't? He looks again nervously at the lights. Are you sure I don't have to be back in my room?
We cleared this. You're good.
Make a check, Comet. Something to convince him. This isn't like charming him. You need something to convince him you have the authority that you're purporting to have.
Leader
because he
inspire.
doesn't know who you are. Yeah, I'll take a leader inspire.
Oh, that is not good. I rolled a 3, which is a 1 because I have a +2.
He looks at you. He looks back at you. He's like, listen, I don't know if I got in trouble again, but Astro, I will need you first to take 1 pilot damage.
Okay.
As he sucker punches you in the face and starts running.
Okay, Astro just kind of stumbles backward. He wasn't expecting it. He lands on his butt.
He's running towards the exit, not back towards the door where your 2 friends are. He's like running out the building.
Okay.
I would like to roll a get somewhere quickly to try to catch him.
Go for it.
24.
You catch up to
that's
him.
A nat 20.
You catch up to him post haste. He is actually you catch up to him so quickly, he doesn't make it to the door that exits the building before you're on him.
All right, I'm just going to take him down.
All right, you tackle him, you both roll to the ground. He like tries to scramble away from you. He's like, "You're not framing me again. I'm getting out of here."
Astro's just like, son of a bitch, we're trying to help you, man. Ow. My nose. Never punch me in the nose. That's my prized possession.
Is it?
Kestrel.
He's had many nose jobs.
He is resisting. Right now, he is confused, and he doesn't know who you all are, and he doesn't understand what you're asking of him, so he lashed out at you and tried to get away. He is trying to like wrestle away from you and get away. What are you doing?
I'm going to ask him, do you remember being a rebel?
He says, "Rebel, yeah, you keep telling me that I'm misbehaving, but I'm not. I'm not doing it. You're framing me. I don't remember doing anything."
All right, you got us.
He like scrambles back away from you. Unfortunately, because you got to him right as he got to the door, he has to like back up towards the corner, giving very much like cornered animal vibes as you're at the door and Astro's over by the gates and Dyne's on the other side of that gate. He doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's like looking back and forth between the 3 of you.
All right, that's enough. Astro, you think we should take him back?
Take him back to his room.
Yeah, so he can get out of here. Hint, hint.
Astro's not picking up on what you're laying down.
This is becoming increasingly not useful to us. I would like him to become useful if we can. Unless you have another idea.
Well, he's not useful to us in his room.
I mean, the device.
Let's hold off for a second. We can still get through to him.
I just kind of wave a hand towards him then.
I'll say,
go for it.
I'll say, listen, we're not guards. We're not your boss. We're rebels like you were. We want to free you. We want to get you off this planet.
Like reaches up to like his face and kind of like you see him like bracing the like his like the center between his 2 eyebrows with his fingers as he's like, it almost looks like he's struggling to like look at you straight, like it's causing him some sort of pain to like try and figure out what's going on here. He's like, I don't really understand what you're saying. I'm not in. Not in trouble.
Help. You're not in trouble. We want to help you. We just need to know what you were working on.
I went to Factory 2, and then I went inside and I did my job, and then I got out. I did Factory 2. I was assigned to Factory 2 today, and then I did my job, and then I came back and the lights were going on and they told us all to get home.
I'll turn to the others and say they must segment his mind a second time when he actually starts working.
At least. It's probably more than that to make sure he doesn't know anything out of all of them.
I'll say, you said when you go to your job, you hook up. Is that right? You connect yourself to something?
Yeah. In the gates, they do measurements when we're coming and going from the factories and the warehouse. He like motions to the side of his neck where some of that metal plating is. Is like they take readings when we come and go from work every day.
Okay. Do you go through a gate like this one? He points to the gate we walked through.
Yeah, that he points at the gate. That's home. That's home. He points at the gate behind you, and then he like thumbs like a thumb over his shoulder, like he's pointing at something behind him. And I was like, and then that's work, you know.
Okay. Why don't you show us where you go to get to Factory 2?
Okay. Okay, I can do that.
And listen, you don't have to worry about guards. They're gone. We cleared this place out.
I don't have to go to the breaths.
I'll look to the others and say, what's the breast?
The answer is no. You do not have to go to the breaths.
Okay. All right. Follow me. I'll take you to work. He stands up and approaches the door.
All right. I'll stand close behind him and I'll say, if you ever feel the need to punch me again, just not the face. Give me a good gut check.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't do that.
Well, it's not your fault. You didn't know what was going on. You're confused. And they made you this way. We're trying to help you.
He'll go to the door that leads out to the apartment building. Do you all let him go outside and follow him?
Yeah, I'll stick like real close behind him.
Okay. He takes you. Yeah, go ahead.
As they're walking ahead and Dyne and I go through, I'm going to say it doesn't seem like these things completely erase this guy's personality.
No, it looks like there's still a strong base of who he once was. He just doesn't have...
Throwing a sucker punch like that is exactly who he was when I was in prison with him.
Yeah, that seems more instinctual. Well,
he takes you out onto the dead streets of this ancient city through the built-up industrial campus that now exists here. As he leads you along the way to a nearby kind of a domed structure. You can see that there is kind of like a set of buildings inside of the dome. As you approach an entrance to it, you will see that on this side of the entrance to the building, there is like a side office that juts out in front of the building itself, almost like a guard station in front of the factory. But you'll note that as you look in to this unattended guard station, there is almost like a exam rooms kind of medical equipment in there, that could be similar to what you found in those side rooms back at the LIT clinic. But also in that room is also just a little terminal that is like built into the wall. It's long and tall. It only has like a small abbreviated keyboard coming out of the side of it. And it appears to have like a little like extender cable that like hangs out of the side and is attached on the front with like a little clip that holds it up for people who want access. He goes up to it. He motions the machine. Is like, that's where they plug us in when we leave for the day.
I see. Only when you leave?
I mean, yeah. I mean, when we leave, they plug us into that. When we get here in the morning, we're just in a long line, and they just, they brush past us and, do a little like ID scan of our faces on our way in.
Okay. Where's the entrance to the factories? It just past here?
Yeah, he points past like the little guard station you guys are at, and you can see like a pair of sliding doors like that are closed, like bulkheads, that kind of like teeth together in the front, that is closed, leading into the dome that has like a giant factory building inside of it.
I'll say, do you mind if we hook you up to this? I'd like to see what they were trying to measure.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'll lead him into the guard station. I'll take the little connector thing, and I'll say, so where does this go?
He will fiddle around with some metal panels on the side of his neck, and as he pulls one of them away, you see it was blocking a port that the extension cable fits into.
I'll say, okay, you sure you're okay if I do this?
Did it every day.
All right, here we go. And I'll plug it in.
All right. As you do, the machine pulls up some data, and it basically takes the like it shows a timestamp on the data, like as you plug it in, and it examines it, and like a little warning window comes up, and it says shift data already recorded, overwrite ? And then there's a yes or no.
I'll say no.
Okay, you say no, and it just doesn't connect. It's like you are still in the terminal, but it is not downloading anything from him.
Okay, can I look at his previous shift data?
You seem to there. It's a weird because the pop-up came up in front of the security, right? Like when you plugged him in, it seemed to log him in directly and ask you a question, right? But once you say no to that, to get any other function to work on the computer, you have to give it some kind of credential to get into it.
Okay. So like an outside credential.
It has a security of some sort on this. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say to the others, I think I'm gonna see if I can hack into this machine and pull whatever data they were taking from him. Can you just keep watch in case anything happens?
Yeah, just hurry up, because I think our time is running short here.
Yeah. Is there a way I can plug in with my subjectivity enhancement suite?
There is not. The only external port that is on this machine is one that is specifically meant to interface with a segmentation tether.
Okay. But I do have access to some sort of terminal. I just
Yes,
can't.
that is correct.
Okay. I'm gonna start poking around in the terminal, looking for exploits. You know, doing like usual like little uh, injection methods.
Okay.
Penetration
Yeah, totally.
methods to try to like seek out weaknesses or see if there's any way I can log in.
All right, go for it.
All right, let's roll. Hacker fix. I rolled a 23.
On a 23, you are able to get past what basic login security is meant for this security station. You are able to open up the various functions, and you are able to quickly determine that the thing that the plugin for the segmentation tether seems to take is various readings that you are able to find a file on Zippo, basically. Basically, they're logged each day by day. Like, they're logged date-wise based on workday. Because you plugged him in what appears to be the second time this day, it was asking if you wanted to override his previous reading from earlier today. You said no, so you still see his earlier reading from earlier today. You're able to page back through them, and they seem to take a variety of information. It's taking like his pulse ox. It's taking like his it's even checking like his like platelet and blood cell levels. It seems to be interfacing with a data chip that is part of the segmentation tether as well, that is reading data based on recordings that were taken over time. So it's kind of like a time sensitive sort of thing where it's like, over the past 8 hours, you know, show me, you know, internal readings that were taken for this and that and the other thing. And the last thing you see that seems to be taken when one of these things is uploaded is a kind of like a heat map movement log that shows what areas the worker was most present in within the facility during their workday.
Interesting. By the way, is Zippo conscious during all this?
Yes, that is yes.
Okay.
He looks very nervous though, but he is just kind of like hanging out with all of you. He's kind of quiet, but he like keeps looking around at the red lights going off. You all kind of like doing work and kind of like semi like keeping him in view and stuff, but not like talking or interfacing with him. He's like nervous and doesn't know what's going on. It's obvious that he's like skittish.
Yeah, sure. The heat. So I'll say aloud to everyone, including Zip, I'll say it looks like this takes a lot of diagnostic data, making sure your implants are working properly, taking vitals from your body, that sort of thing. But what's interesting here is this heat map that seems to show what areas of the factory you work in. Seems to track your movement inside your place of work.
He like looks at you quizzically and is like, I guess. Okay.
Is there any way I could note this down, the map?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you can even just you remember there's no external like interface for this machine, but you can definitely pull it up, and if you have any device on you, you can just like screen cap it basically.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Because you broke in sufficiently, Astro, you get one more thing as you are scrolling through this information. There is, it appears this terminal's data is being sent. You imagine probably not wirelessly. It must, you know, there must be some sort of network or something, a wired connection that goes through this kind of like industrial complex. There is a network this terminal is attached to, and you can tell this data is being sent regularly to some sort of logistics processing. In fact, there is a note left specifically in Zippo's file. You quickly see if you can find another person's file to compare it to real quick, but you don't have a lot of context for theirs. You just open it real quick and look through it. Zippo's has a note in it, like a profile level note or something like that.
Sure.
So that when you look across a bunch of profiles quickly, Zippo's has extra information to note on it.
Yeah.
And what you read at the top is basically this person is a known adjutant. Keep a careful eye on them. If they are making any sort of agitated behavior, be sure to report that to the logistics specialist immediately. And as you're able to kind of drill down on that data, an interesting thing you note is there is a comment in there that almost doesn't seem to be for whoever would be using this terminal, but for someone else who might be accessing the data. There's a note underneath it that says, experiment with behavioral modification studies. Note 3507.
3507. Is anyone watching me at the terminal? Anyone interested in what I'm doing? I'll
no,
wave
because you're
Steve
telling us
over.
what you're doing, so I'm not looking
Yeah,
over your
okay,
shoulder if that's what you're asking. Yeah.
In that case, I'll just wave Steve and Dyne over. I'll say, take a look at this. Because I don't want to necessarily say this part out loud. And I'll show them the note.
Okay.
And I'll just say, I guess this explains those demerits, right?
Yeah, I was just telling Dyne earlier that it doesn't seem like his personality is completely overwritten, even with what they do here.
And I'll point to that extra comment. What did it say again? He's candidate for behavioral modification.
It's almost a comment not for the person using this terminal,
Right.
but for someone who might be accessing this information from somewhere else. And it basically says this person is a candidate for behavioral modification. Note 3507.
I'll just point at that and it says looks like maybe they were trying to drill that out of him.
Well, they tried. It hasn't quite worked entirely yet.
That number 3507, is that note number 3507, or does it seem more cryptic or ambiguous than that?
It seems to be referencing something that's not on this terminal.
Okay. I'll just make a note of that number.
Okay.
3507.
You made a note of the note?
I made a note of the note.
Noted.
And then, you noted. And I'll put another note under the note so I know where I noted it from.
Yeah, it says, please note. There's a note.
I'll say, okay, Zippo, thanks for cooperation. I'm going to unhook you now.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll unplug him.
Hey, are you sure I don't need to be getting back? That he looks around the streets, is where is everyone?
I'm sure. We attacked. We're Lancer pilots. We came in. We attacked the security here.
He shakes his head. What's a Lancer pilot?
All you need to know is we either we dealt with security here.
He you can't tell if it's just that he doesn't believe you or he doesn't know how to contextualize it, but this does not seem to assure him very much.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to get anything useful out of this unless we either do what we talked about, COMET, or, our other option is just send him back to his room.
He like heads, like he nods over towards the factory. He's like, you wanted to see where I work, right? That's it.
Let's just take a look at that. There might be another gate there that could reveal more.
Hmm.
We'll make it quick.
You're approaching an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty much gives us 10 minutes. That's not much time to do much of anything.
Yeah, you're
10 minutes
getting
until they know something's wrong. We
Exactly.
have no idea how long from there we have. If we attempt to contact or do something with them, we have 10 minutes to do that. I don't know what you guys want to do, but
at this point, Evelene would be finishing up her repairs.
I'll say, okay, yeah, we are coming up on time. Do you want me to try to spoof a signal? So let me just review what I learned earlier. So they, like the patrols here, the mech security team, they get some sort of check-in signal. Does that go directly to their like, how do they receive it? Is it like directly on their like onboard computers?
It was on the it was specifically on the glint arm that you found this information, that
Okay.
it was receiving a check-in signal. But it seems like the signal it was receiving was short range, which means it was probably coming from the base, which means the base was getting a check-in signal, and that's how they were responding. So you would probably need to find a way on this base to receive and respond to that signal.
And do that. So I say that, and we need to do that in 10 minutes. If I had to take a guess, it would be in logistics.
what? Start running?
Yeah, what do we do with him in the meantime? Why don't you have him show you around his workplace? I'll go see if I can take care of the check-in and logistics. And then if all else fails, we'll do plan B.
I'm just not sure we'll have time for plan B. But all right, go ahead and go find the and find the thing in logistics.
I don't like the idea of Astro going alone to a place where people could be held up. I'm going to go with him.
I mean, I'm going to be there.
I'll radio Evelene and say,
Okay.
why don't you have Evelene join you, Dyne? Steve and I will go to logistics.
Alrighty. Make it quick.
I
Time's
assume
ticking.
I assume you give me the recap.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you the brief recap
Okay.
as I start making my way to the logistics building.
All right. This will be Astro and Dyne. As you make your way towards the nearby logistics building, you are able to see that there is a very obvious kind of like power relay station that is directly next to the logistics base. It's like the logistics base is directly plugged in adjacent to like this power relay station. And the rest of the wires from that power relay station seem to snake out through the rest of the base, through like power wires and conduit and things like that. But you were able to trace your way to the logistics building via kind of following where the power comes from. As you approach the front door, it is closed down. In fact, you were able to quickly see that the windows are shuttered on the logistics building as well. There are glass windows on the fronts of it, but they seem to have metal shutters that have like folded up in front of them. There is a heavy metal door that seems to have descended in front of the entrance, blocking it.
So it seems like it's responded to lockdown mode and it's closed itself off.
It is in lockdown mode. That doesn't mean you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to open it, but it does mean that's the state it's currently in.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a look at the steel door that came down. Is there any wall terminal or door terminal?
There is a wall terminal adjacent to the door. It appears to be just displaying like a red solid cube.
All right. Let me. I'm gonna say like I always have like a few little tools on me where I can like pry off things like panels. Let me pry off the front of the door panel.
Okay. You're going to be working on hacking this door. Evelene, you have finished repairs, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you're going to be heading over to where Dyne is. Or not Dyne. You're going to be heading over to where Steve is.
Nope, Dyne. You
It
had
was
it right.
Dyne. It was Dyne.
I had
Yeah,
it
right.
right. You're going to be heading over to where Dyne is. I want the people who needed repairs to quickly note for us what was done during the repair. How many repairs did you spend? What did you do to your mechs? In case it becomes important, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm using one repair point to take my HP back to full. So I'm going from 1 to 13 HP and 5 repairs down to 4.
Okay.
That's all.
Pretty superficial stuff needed done to yours.
Yeah.
Still can't believe how many times you got missed.
Yeah, really.
Also, this clears my heat as well.
That's correct.
You don't have to spend repair for that. You just have to spend the downtime.
And then Evelene, what were you doing to yours?
I'm gonna burn all my repair cap so that I can get 1 structure and 2 stress back.
Yeah, you were fudged up a little bit there.
Yeah, I have 6, so that's 2 for each.
2 each. Yeah,
What
2, 2, 2.
And then
All right.
I get half HP just for
Nope.
downtime.
Nope. If you read that again, that's half of the HP of your character back,
Oh, character.
not your mech.
I'm at
That's for
17 out
if-
of 20.
Yeah, that's if you got beaten up during the story time segments, like the narrative pilot segments.
We can share repair cap too, right? Is that
In
not a
certain circumstances, this would not be one of them.
I don't think so, no.
Like if I was to give you additional repairs as a so there's 2 ways you can use other people's repairs. One is if your mech explodes, like literally if your mech gets destroyed, you can use other people's repairs to get your mech functional again. The other way you're allowed to use other people's repairs is if it's not specifically your repairs, is if it's like kind of communal repairs. Like if you get that as a resource by doing downtime actions.
Yeah, I remember you once gave us something like that. Like you gave us 2.
Yep, I gave you
repairs that was
basically
just-
2 communal
yeah.
repairs that you could decide who used it when you needed it. But unfortunately, that's not what you guys came into this mission with. Your mechs are all very different than each other. There's very few communicable parts amongst your mechs. Enough to get your mech from not working to working, but not enough to like get your mech from working to pristine.
Okay, cool. I was just checking. I was
Yeah,
going to give
absolutely.
Evelene 1, so she at least had 1 for next combat, but yeah, it is what it is.
I think I'll be all right. And honestly, I was at 17 out of 21, so I don't even need the HP, really. It was sort of like I thought it was a side effect. But it's not, so I'm going to go hang out with Dyne at the creepy manufacturing.
All right. So Evelene, you busy yourself over that way. Dyne and Evelene, are you going to just stay at the entrance or are you going to try and explore the factory?
As much as I would like to explore the factory, Dyne doesn't necessarily think we have enough time for something like that. So he would rather stay at the entrance with Zippo and Evelene as a just in case something goes wrong, because he has a feeling something is probably going to go wrong.
I will say, just for the record, Astro did order you to explore the factory, but you're your own person and you can decide what's best.
I mean, I'm
because
going in.
The one
Astro's
thing
probably not thinking completely clearly.
Yeah, the one thing I will state is right now you have some information about what's gone down here, but you don't have a lot of smoking gun evidence or like a full picture of what's involved. I'm not saying you have to, go into these places. You're obviously already going to the logistics building, you examine the residential building, but keep in mind, this is probably the only chance you'll have to investigate these things, because this was a kind of like once available opportunity for you to have access to this space. You were able to get here kind of through trickery. You don't imagine this is an avenue that will be open to you in the future once the corpos are onto you.
All right, well, boss's orders, time to explore the factory.
I mean, if you say you're not going in, I'm like, all right, hang out here, and I'll just go in anyway. I haven't done shit.
I'll go in. I would rather you not be alone.
I haven't done anything this mission. I want to be useful. I'm going in.
You repaired your Mac. I consider that useful.
Not good enough.
Very useful. Might not have been like the most interesting stuff narratively, but
no, it's important.
Getting back that structure and stress, like pretty key, I think.
So you guys are going to approach the factory doors?
Yep.
Are you bringing Zippo with you, obviously? Someone has to watch him, or are you going to leave him outside?
We should probably take him.
All right, let's
my
go,
hope
Zippo.
Also was there's another gate there that will change his personality again. That maybe we'll know what he was doing when he was working there. Also, I would have sent you that heat map to refer to.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so you guys have like a little map of the places Zippo has been inside the facility, which also gives you a bit of the layout of the facility. Nothing's marked on it in any way, but you have the size and shape of it.
All right. Well, we will explore the factory, focusing on the areas where Zippo was like most active.
As you approach the front door of the factory itself, like I said, it is two closed curtain doors that kind of are teethed together. There is like a little like scanning device that's just above the door that is facing down and center, like just in front of the door.
Should we get a Zip here to go first?
Sure. I ask Zippo to go through first.
He shrugs. He's like, okay, going to work it is. He steps up in front of the door, stands dead center, almost as if he's taking a mark, and then just kind of waits. And you see a little bit of something activates in the little scanner that is above the door. You see some scanning lines go over and across Zippo quickly, and then the doors start to open. Are you two going to follow him in?
Sure. I guess.
Oh, Zippo,
I just hope that we can get out.
Yeah, that's sort of my thought.
The two curtain doors start to open. Zippo looks back at you two as in I guess this is what you told me to do, as he goes to walk in behind the doors.
I will follow.
Do you follow directly behind him?
How about this? One of us does, the other one doesn't.
All right. Which one of us is going to be the sacrificial lamb?
I'll go. Whatever. Fine.
All right, so paint this for me. Zippo enters, then what?
I follow immediately afterward, and then I guess what? Dyne.
Do you walk past the sensor?
Oh, right, the sensor. Yes.
All right.
I'm looking at Dyne as I'm about to approach the sensor. Like, this is a good idea, right?
No, it's not. But you go anyways.
All right, Evelene,
You
as
got
you
me.
approach the door and pass through the same section that Zippo had walked through, I imagine, don't stop and wait for it. But as you walk past it, it quickly tries to scan you, Evelene, and the doors start to close.
I look at Dyne. I look at Zippo. I book it through the doors.
All right, make me a pilot check.
I didn't even know what it would be. Stay cool.
Get somewhere quickly.
Dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure? Yeah, roll me a stay cool.
Okay.
Let's see if you can quickly realize the doors are closing and Indiana Jones through them.
15.
All right. Evelene, you dash forward as the doors start to close together on each other, and you are able to sidle sideways and kind of like fall through the doors before they close behind you.
Did Zippo get through?
Zippo was the first one through.
Okay, I thought so.
Zippo, on the other side of the door here with you, like looks at you quizzically and is like, what was that?
I don't know.
Can't you guys get in here?
I don't know. I'm just kind of like trying to take stock of what just happened. How heavy are those doors as they're closing?
Big.
Okay.
They're big. They're like probably like 4 inches thick.
So I couldn't like put like a piece of metal to prop it open. It would probably get crushed.
They seemed pretty industrial.
Okay. I'll look back at the door as they close, and I guess Dyne's on the other side.
Yeah, Dyne, you watch Evelene dash through this door after Zippo, and the door promptly closes behind her.
I kind of nod, and I'm like, okay. Well,
I know this is probably asking too much, but there's not like an emergency escape switch on the inside in case of fire.
You don't see anything.
I'm totally gonna go to the union about this later.
This building is not up to code.
Totally isn't.
OSHA's gonna be pissed.
The OSHA handbook is written in blood.
Now that I'm inside the factory, is there any obvious doorways or ways to get out other than through that gate?
No.
Is there a sensor just like the one on the outside?
Nope.
How the hell did Zippo leave?
did you think to ask him?
He is right next to you.
I say this out loud next to Zippo, and I turn to Zippo like, how the hell do you leave?
They open the door for us when shifts end.
Oh. Okay. I'll kind of just knock gently on the door to see if I can get Dyne to... Well, you said it's 4 inches thick?
Yeah.
I'll knock gently a few times to see if I can get Dyne to approach the door.
Do I hear this knock?
Yeah, they're not soundproof. You would hear the the metal knocking.
I walk up and I knock back.
Hey, Dyne, I don't think there's a way out.
Cool. I guess I'll go back over to the computer and see if there is a way to open the door that I don't need to hack.
You can try. Absolutely.
I mean, it seems plausible, and then we'll see if we can figure out something on our side, and I don't know, take photos or figure out what's going on in here.
Yeah, go ahead and explore. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Evelene, you turn to Zippo, and he thumbs over his shoulder and goes, well, I mean, check-in's over this way.
Yeah, let's go.
We're going deeper. All right, as you
seems
follow
safe.
Zippo into the factory you're now locked in. Back to Astro and Steve. who don't know that Chimera is currently locked in the factory as you try to open up the logistics base.
All right. Astro's making, I think, lots of good leadership decisions.
No one knows enough to fault you yet.
Yeah. All right. So back here, I pulled off the panel. I'm going to look for a way to wire in with my subjectivity enhancement suite.
And you can do so with this panel, yes.
Okay.
It is less a setup for it and more hot wiring it, but you can make it work.
Yeah, I figured. I kind of like pull out a couple wires, like kind of split them open and connect it with my subjectivity enhancement suite.
Absolutely.
And once I'm jacked in, I'm going to see if there's a way I can either take the whole building off lockdown or at least get the door open.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a check.
All right. Hacker fix coming up. I closed my profile window. 1 second. All right, there it is. I rolled a 12.
All right, with a 12, you're able to kind of peruse through what's available to you at this terminal. You don't think you can shut off the lockdown, even for just this one building. You don't have access to the lockdown from here, but you do have access to emergency overrides for this door, which you are able to enter. After a few moments, and it's only just appears a few passing moments, the door opens as the giant metal shutter over the normal door kind of like lifts up and out of the way. It was almost like an armored bulkhead that lowered over the normal door. And then beyond it, there's just a normal door, which you're able to open and enter the building with.
Great. That'll do. I'll go inside.
All right, Astro and Steve, you are able to enter the logistics building. Much like the residential building, there are, every 10 to 20 feet, red spinning lights on the walls. It is pin drop silent in here. There is not a soul that you can tell within this building with you.
What do I see as I enter? Like, are we in a hallway with rooms branching off? Is it a big open area?
You are in kind of like a foyer that has hallways that enter like center left, center right, and then go off left and right.
Any signage, like little placards saying this way to the security center or something like that?
There is only one placard up, and the only thing that it points to is the infirmary.
Okay. So I won't go in that direction. I'll say I think we should split up. See if you can find like a comm station or security station, something like that.
Okay.
So I'll take. Would you say there's like 2 hallways branching off from this foyer?
Yeah, you can go like middle left, middle right, or left or right.
Okay. I'll as long as it's not the one that goes to the infirmary, I'll although the infirmary could have like some sort of security thing, but I'll take left.
I guess I'll take right.
All right. I would like both of you to make independent checks to see what you find.
Oh, what kind of check?
What are you looking for, and how are you looking for it?
If I had get somewhere quickly, I'd use that because I'm in a rush to just...
Well, I have that, so I'll use that.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
15.
Steve, you decide that expediency is the heart of what you're looking for here and are able to quickly check a bunch of rooms. In this way, you kind of bypass a few things that you're like, okay, that would be interesting, but now's not the time, as you move along quickly. And I'll tell you what you received in a second after I see what Astro also gets.
I don't like any of my skill triggers for this, so I'm just going to roll a d20.
Okay, you can do a normal pilot check, but I still want you to tell me the nature of what you're doing.
Yes. I am also just going to be, since I know we don't have a lot of time, I'm pretty much going to be rushing as well. I'm
Okay.
going to be looking specifically for like some kind of room that has lots of computers in it.
Okay.
Something that looks like a control station.
Yeah,
of
you're
sorts.
basically also doing a get somewhere quickly. You just don't have the bonus for
The
it. So
skill
go
check.
ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Pilot check.
Oh, that's a 1.
That's a 1. Comet, you are looking, but this is not a skill of yours. You keep getting distracted. You open a door and you don't have the instantaneous skill being like, this is interesting, but not what I'm looking for, and kind of moving on. You keep going, maybe I could do something in here. I don't know. Is it worth like giving up on this room to check the next room? And it just takes you too long.
Yeah.
Versus Steve, you have the exact opposite approach where you are able to quickly roll out rooms that you know are not going to be worthwhile for you. You move through the building, opening doors, sometimes shouldering open doors where they seem a little bit stuck or you have issues with it, eventually finding what appears to be a security room for the logistics building. There is a bank of computers up against the wall with various view screens. There are a couple of terminals, each with their own kind of like input stations. And notedly, there appears to be on one screen that's within this room, like a big red screen that basically says security lockdown on it.
Okay, I don't want to mess with that right away, but do I see any like signals coming in? Like how close are we to this check-in time exactly?
You don't see anything noticeable right this moment.
Okay, then I'm just going to message Astro to get over to where I'm at now on the right side and explain where I'm at.
Okay,
Astro,
I rush over.
You're able
keep
to
a close
over.
eye on these computers.
Totally.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, you're able to monitor them pretty closely. You don't think you're missing anything over the time it takes COMET to get here. COMET, you arrive and you still think you have a good like 5 minutes before when you expect the next check-in to be. You start looking over the various computers and you feel your fears are slightly assuaged in that you think you're going to be able to do what you need to do here. But like I said, it's still like a security room. There's still like a emergency thing going off, like off to the side on one of the monitors. What do you want to do here while you wait for the signal to come in?
Okay. First, I want to just look and see if I can turn off the lockdown from here for this building.
You are able to like look through the various things you have access to on these computers. You are able to like get into them, but it will cost checks to like do anything specific with them. You can tell that you should be able to access the various security systems for this this section of area, at least, that's under lockdown from this terminal.
Do I also get a sense if this is like plugged into a broader network? So like if I need to, I can use a network to remote into whatever system is going to receive that check-in?
This system seems to receive from a lot of other areas on this space in the same way that it looked like the power was kind of like directly next door to this building. It seems like everything either like kind of spider webs out from here to the other buildings they've set up. This is kind of like the center of
nerve center.
This is the nerve center. This is the logistics building that kind of makes sure all the other buildings function.
Great. Okay. I'll worry. So the lockdown that's in effect, is it limiting what functions I have access to?
The lockdown that's in effect seems to be causing a variety of things across the base. I will say, since you've never seen what this place is like not on lockdown, you have no comparison.
Yeah,
you only know what you have access to currently.
I would like to, and I'll probably have to do a check for this, but I'd like to see if I can access a communication system from here.
What kind of?
Yeah, communications with whatever communication system would be receiving these check-in.
You do see that there is kind of like a hardline communication system that is like a direct connected network that comes in here. It becomes difficult to tell how you would reach out from here. Perhaps you just don't have the training. You would have to do some checks for it. You could preemptively send out a message, but you would have to take the time to figure out how to do that. But it does look like you receive messages here.
Okay. I'd like to use the remaining time to start fiddling around on this system and see what I can learn as far as like what functionalities it has, and prepare to receive the check-in signal from here.
Okay, you kind of post up, make sure that you're familiar with the commands that you have access to. After about 5 minutes, really like 4 minutes, a security check-in signal comes in. You are able to note that it is what it is because you saw similar things in the logs of Glintarm's security logs on the black box you were able to recover. You were able to tell that it is like a call and response, like check in to make sure everything's okay.
Okay, great. Am I able to send a response like an okay, all green?
Will be able to spoof an all clear message with a difficult pilot check. It is a dangerous, difficult pilot check.
I of course would like to help.
Good.
If possible.
Because if you don't succeed on this, you will have double difficulty on this check because you didn't turn off the alarm before attempting this. So because an alarm is actively going off when this check-in comes in, it will add an extra level of difficulty. So let's see.
That might happen.
Let's see if Steve can eliminate one of these for you by giving you some accuracy. What are you doing to help Steve?
Stay cool. I'm going to, while I was there, because I don't imagine I just stood there drooling, you know? I would like to, maybe I did, I don't know. I'd like to try to find a way to turn off the alarm. I'm not technical, so I don't know if it's like easy to do or not, but I want to just concentrate on what I do see and see if I can get through. I'm technical enough, just not astro-technical.
All right, the problem is that's definitely not a stay cool in this situation. You would have to figure out another skill trigger to use.
Investigate
would be to research something in great detail. I don't know if you have
really
the time for that here.
Yeah, I don't have anything else that will trigger off this really, so I guess I'll just have to roll a d20.
It's going to be a straight pilot check then.
All right. 14 though.
Hey.
Luckily, this was not a dangerous check in any ways. While Astro is over on one of the 3 terminals, waiting for the check-in, familiarizing himself with the things. You've worked with security systems before. You've piloted plenty of spaceships before. You see how a variety of different systems raise and lower alarm levels, access security to and from various bulkheads. This isn't completely out of your wheelhouse. I mean, it's foreign enough that you are worried you're going to make a dog's dinner of it, but luckily you don't. You sit down at one of the free terminals, you start looking through, and you remind yourself that the people who were the security for this base probably also weren't hacker computer whizzes. They were probably just security guards that were trained on how to use the equipment. And after reassuring yourself that this is something you should be able to do, you quickly are able to find various systems where you're able to like go through a few confirmations. You're able to kind of intuit what kind of things it's looking for, to be like, okay, yeah, no, tripped accidentally. You're able to fill out like basically like a incident report, and basically make it seem like,
Bob sat on the button that triggers it.
You're able to fill out an incident report that makes it seem like it's an error without being too obvious about it. Being like, yeah, we know we fucked up. We checked into it. Everyone's kind of pissed about it. You kind of log the thing that like, you're like, I'm glad I opened up this other page because I have to log the amount of missed work hours we lost because of this alarm and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You feel pretty confident that you are able to turn off this alarm in time and log things sufficiently. And you see the screen, probably like 2 minutes before the check-in comes in, goes off, and all the red lights go off.
Nice.
I don't say anything, but I just look up from the terminal with like kind of wider eyes over at Astro, and then like do a head tilt and look back down.
Astro's like, nice, good job.
All right, Astro, this is still going to be a difficult and dangerous check, but no longer will they be able to instantly see that there's an alarm going off at your base when they try to check in.
That's great news. And dangerous means, again, that if you...
There are repercussions between 10 and 20 still.
10 and 20, okay. All right.
20 and up is still full success, but 10 through 19 is a partial success only.
Okay. Got it. So I will roll hacker fix with
a difficulty.
Difficulty, 1 inaccuracy. Okay. Here we go. 13. I will take that for now.
Because the only thing you could do is push it, and then you'd have to get over a 20.
Yeah.
Take what we can get.
Astro, the check-in comes in.
Just like he pulls a Han Solo. He's like,
I've been thinking about this whole time. Like, how are you doing?
How are you?
I was already looking at the GIF for Discord.
You get the check-in response. You try to signal the all clear, but they gently prod you about like, okay, well, we got your incident report. Like, are you gonna, file, It's like a gentle follow-up, but you just don't respond in a way that makes sense to them. And you realize it a second later because like the response, this is all text. You're like, you're communicating in text back and forth. You get an all clear message. You get a check-in signal. You send the all clear, and they respond as like all clear. But I thought, after even an erroneous signal, the all clear needs to include this. Are you we got your filing, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I mean, but we just sent it like 2 minutes ago, so I didn't know if you would want that. And like, yeah, we want that.
It's like I don't know the exact protocol.
Exactly. So you send the all clear, and they're like,
just tell them we haven't had to do it before. So we don't know.
They want something extra from you, Astro. You can tell that they're not on alert, but you've raised their hackles a little bit. How do you resolve this?
Okay. They want some more information. Let me think. And I'll also be relaying the back and forth to Steve. So if you have any ideas,
I'm going to attempt to quickly look through like a procedure thing if they have it to see what they want exactly. If we can provide it,
Okay. I have an idea of what this could be, but what do you think this is?
Like what they want?
No, like a pilot check that you could do for this. If you want a suggestion from me, I would say you could probably do this as an investigate with difficulty because you have very little time to look through.
Mm-hmm. What about read a situation? I feel like this applies here. They are not in front of me, but it is look for subtext, motives, or threats in a person.
Yeah.
Or situation.
I would allow a read a situation.
Okay. 19.
Okay. With a 19, Steve, you are able to like quickly look things up while Astro is busy trying to communicate with them. And you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. You're able to kind of tell Astro's like, what are they asking you for? And Astro like responds with like various things they've said. And you're like, okay. And you look through the information and you're like, okay, I see what they're doing. You are able to give some Astro some tips on how to word things or like key phrases to use in his next response that will give him accuracy.
Okay.
But you're still going to have to make a check of some sort to persuade or assuage their fears.
Yes. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to do charm.
You seem like a charmer to me.
Yeah. I'm going to like respond like in such a way like I'm taking over for so and so, and they didn't give me a good, like, I'm just a lowly like intern or something, and they didn't tell me all the they didn't onboard me completely, so I don't know all the
protocols.
Yeah.
And this
I'm
is
just
where
a silly little boy.
This is where the accuracy from Steve comes in, because some of the wording you're using there is stuff that would just make them more suspicious. There's no interns here. Like, they wouldn't say that, right? And then Steve is like, no, you have to say that, you were recruited via this, give them the, here's a date, give them this date, and you wouldn't have had time to go through the full training yet, and that will make sense to them. So Steve is quickly able to yell over to you a few recommendations on ways to say the thing you're saying, but rephrase it in a way that makes more sense to them.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll me a charm with accuracy.
Okay. And if this doesn't work, I can just shoot the comm machine. Boring conversation anyway. 17.
Hey.
All right. With a 17, they go, I don't know what kind of, basically in text you get, I don't know what kind of clown show you're running down there, but we're going to report this to our supervisors. How about you keep on the straight and narrow and keep the newbies off the radios?
And I'm just like, okay, sorry.
Smile emoji.
And yeah, you believe you successfully cleared this all clear.
Astro just leans back in the chair he was sitting at in front of the terminal and lets out a long sigh. It's like, I think we did it. I think we're good for at least another hour and a half.
Yeah.
You've bought yourself 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Because you were already into the last check-in period by a bit when you came in. It is 3 hours between each check-in.
Yeah, it's not like they had just checked in right before we attacked them. So yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
And at this point, Astro gets a radio from Dyne. Hey, Astro, when you get a chance, you want to come over here and help me get CHIMERA out from the factory? She's locked in.
Perfect.
Are there controls for that here, Astro?
Astro's like, I might be able to open the door from the logistics center. Stand by, I'll look into it.
All right. While that is all happening, we're going to pop over to Evelene to see what she's been doing in the factory during all this.
And Astro's just like, man, I couldn't even enjoy a second of my success before we had another problem.
I mean, that's fair, but we're also on a very dangerous mission in the middle of enemy territory. You don't really have a lot of time to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Evelene, the curtain has just closed behind you. Zippo is in front of you. He's already thumbed over to the entrance. He's like, well, are we going in then?
Yeah, might as well. Give me the grand tour.
I mean, he like shrugs at you. He's like, I can take you to work.
Yeah.
All right. As he heads towards the entrance, you can see that it kind of like opens up into a hallway where another one of those glass curtains, this time you see an ST2 printed on the door that covers the hallway entrance.
So we've seen ST2 and ST3 at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just is walking towards it like it's normal as every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just follow him from behind. I guess
you look up and around you, Evelene, as things are going on. You see like the hallway is mostly closed off, but there is like an observation room that looks down into this hallway. It's just like a window, and you can see beyond the window like the very top of a desk with some terminals on it. There's no one up there, but It is odd to feel like, oh, someone could be looking down at this hallway as we're walking through it, even as you don't see anyone there.
2 questions.
Yeah.
One, what time of day is this?
I would say we're approaching like, I mean, remember, you just landed on a planet. The planet's like day and night cycle might not be what you're used to, but I would say if we were going to go by like Earth time, like what Evelene would be expecting in terms of her daily schedule, it's probably approaching, like 6 o'clock.
Okay. And then, is there anyone else in this facility? I know you said nothing in the observations.
It is quiet as a pin drop in here. In fact, the boots of Zippo, as he moves on ahead of you, kind of echo off the hallways as he marches towards the door.
All right. I fully expect that his personality is going to change as he walks through that door. Based on what I've heard, because I have not seen this personally.
Yeah. Well, as of right this moment, a lucky bit of coincidence happens, is I will say that as this is happening, the rotating red lights turn off as you approach the door. Zippo looks up and sees that the security thing is gone and kind of like feels reassured by that. You're not sure why, but he walks more confidently now that those are off. So it just so happens Steve is able to help you out from afar as this is happening. You watch Zippo step confidently through the ST2 doorway. And as he steps to the other side, he doesn't say or do anything, but he steps to the other side and then just keeps marching forward.
Does his gait change or anything?
Yeah, like ever so slightly.
Himself?
Like how he carries himself changed ever so slightly. He was walking a little bit skittishly or a little bit nervously. As soon as he walks to the door, his next few steps after walking through the door, his not personality, because you wouldn't be able to really tell that from you. He has the mannerisms of someone who knows exactly where he's walking to and is just walking to that location.
That's exactly what I want to see. I'm following him.
All right, so you walk in behind him?
Yeah.
As you walk through the door, it goes beep, and it makes the same kind of admission. Lights blink, machinery whirs inside as you step through, but nothing happens to you when you walk through one of these. You did watch as it did affect the cybernetics sticking out of Zippo's back as he walked through. But as the beep happens, you see the person ahead of you kind of like turn back and look at you to see who's following him. And he goes, "Hey, I haven't met you before. You new here?"
Yeah, I'm shadowing. Just so I can learn the ropes, you know?
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Where they got you working today? What shift you pull?
I forgot already. It's really my first day. Sorry. I'm just they said, hey, that Zippo guy, look what he's doing and learn from it so you don't kill yourself when you actually start working.
Okay. Well, if they told you you're on my shift, sorry.
Yeah, well, I'll take what I can get at this point. It's kind of a rotten situation all around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, follow me, keep your head down, don't mouth off too much, or they'll stick you with a demerit.
I'll salute and follow.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you got rad training? He looks at you quizzically. Where's your gear? Why are you wearing that weird suit?
You know what? They haven't they're out of stock, so they gave me the suit until they can give me the gear.
Out of stock? That doesn't make no sense.
Hey, that's what they told me.
Evelene, make a pilot check.
I don't think I have anything to help me with this, other than stay cool, but I don't know if that applies here.
No, we're gonna need something more social.
The only thing that's close to that would be word on the street, but I don't think it works here either.
Nah, you're not a part of his social scene yet. Go ahead and roll me just a straight pilot check. I'll give you accuracy because your background is worker.
That's what I'm kind of riding on, is hopefully that'll help me, but...
Your mannerisms are close enough to what he expects.
Okay, so that's a d20 plus d6. Whew. What? It's 6. Oh.
Wow, that sucks.
It does.
He looks at you quizzically, is like, hey, now, that doesn't make... You look like one of those researchers.
You got me.
We're not doing this again. I don't care if they stick me with 3 demerits. I'm not going through this again.
Look.
He starts backing up away from you.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'm just trying to do my job here. I won't do anything to you, and I'll say I did it, but I still have to be seen with you so I can make the sell. But at the end of the day, I still got to report, and I don't want to lose my job. But I get it. You don't want to have this happen. I won't do anything. But I still got to hang around if you just so I can make it look like I know what I'm doing.
He keeps backing up away from you. And he goes, no, not today, not today. And he turns and books it.
Where is he booking?
He runs down the hallway directly away from you.
Well, you wanted an expedited tour.
Yeah, no, Evelene does not have the reaction that Steve has when last time Zippo booked it. I think I just let him go. I don't.
All right, you watch Zippo run off somewhere in the factory.
I still have the heat map, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna stick to that and see what I can figure out.
All right. Well, you've lost Zippo, who is now, kind of in the wind somewhere in the factory. It is still eerily quiet in here with no one inside the building with you, as you have nothing to go on but a heat map of where the system says Zippo was on his last workday. And as you step forward, kind of past this little hallway into the main areas of the factory, you look around and are kind of impressed by the scale of this place. Gigantic areas. It's almost like rooms within rooms, factories inside of a building. It's like you have, how on an aircraft base, there are those giant steel buildings, and each one of them is a hangar for a ship of some sort.
Yeah.
Inside this dome, there are entire hangars of that size that you believe are their own individualized factory lines. This place is a maze and a half, and you look off to the left as going through some of the various walkways and raised areas, you see Zippo go out of sight as he makes his way off and to the left. You look down at your heat map and realize, okay, this isn't 3D. This is a top-down view.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to traverse these to get to these various areas. And you're just going to have to figure it out.
Fantastic.
And as Evelene looks at this maze of chutes and ladders, essentially, inside this giant factory upon factory buildings, having lost her guide, we're going to go ahead and stop the session there, knowing that you guys have 3 more hours to explore this industrial facility. We'll see what you guys get up to next time, now knowing you have a little bit more time to make yourselves comfortable and see what's really going on here.
I blame Dyne. Dyne should have known better than to let Zippo alone with Evelene.
I'll take the blame.
Okay, yeah.
Evelene, you Chuck, you felt like you didn't do enough last session. Well, you certainly got your wish this session.
Oh boy.
Next time on Lancer, it's like that screensaver where all the pipes branch across the stream, but it's Evelene trying to find her way through them.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yep, see ya.
Bye.